Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. I should not start our live show by singing. Hello and welcome, and hello.
Ill-advised.
That is the understatement of the year. This is Total Spotfest. I am JJ. That is Jamie. We are, of course, without one Austin Reddick here. He is actually out and about doing things, so he's not going to be able to make it tonight, but we have the two of us. And well, thank you guys for joining. Thank you for watching us. Hello, Heather. Oh, I'm putting a pin in that comment, Heather, because I have so many things to say on that are of the most utmost praise. I'm gonna get back to that. Thank you guys for joining us. Jamie, how the hell you doing, man?
I'm exhausted. That's all I gotta say. I'm here, loving life. I'm here for the masses, here to talk some wrestling. Got a lot of good stuff to talk about today.
we got quite a lot going on here. We're gearing up for Forbidden Door. WWE's kind of in that middle ground. They're in between, their major slots, so they're doing a lot of setup things. Lots of indie wrestling going on. If you haven't already caught it, we talked last week on our show about the announcement for Fountain City Pro for their next event. It's going to be July 12th. I believe tickets are now on sale. They've announced the semifinal matches for the inaugural Fountain City champion, Camaro Jackson versus All Steel Jay Fowler, and Luke Longley of Black Diamond. Luke Longley versus Ray Leone for Justice for is it Justice for All or and Justice for All? Did they go the full and, or was it just Justice?
I think it's and Justice for All.
Okay, all right.
I think now you got me.
Well, I know that Michael Reed got to name this one, so 100%
and Justice for All.
So 100% he went Metallica influence. He just straight up copied the entire album title because he is Metallica fan embodied. So again, tickets are on sale. FountainCityPro.com. If you're in Kansas City, you live near Kansas City, you plan on being near Kansas City on the 12th of July. Come join us in Olathe, Kansas. It's going to be a good time. Olathe.
Olathe. Oh man, I went to school there, college there. Yeah, people used to call it Olathe all the time. It's like, oh well, you're not from around these parts.
Did I ever tell you my Wichita story?
Wichita?
Yeah. I told you how I got that, right?
Yeah.
It was so good. Long story short, for those of you listening, it's this dude from upstate New York. They were jazz musicians for years, and they started selling pianos for for Steinway or one of the big piano companies. I can't remember who. And they used to do back in the early '90s. They used to do these big demonstration event shows, right? So they're doing one in Wichita. This dude stands up there in front of the crowd, and just thick New York accent, which I can't do. So great to be here in Wichita. So ever since then, it's just I always think Wichita. I think Wichita.
Anytime I hear Wichita, it automatically makes me think of the song "Indian Outlaw" by Tim McGraw.
Okay.
I don't know why. It just does, because he's like, I'm a Indian outlaw, half Cherokee and Choctaw. My baby, she's Chippewa. She's a one of a kind.
You're pretty much all.
So this makes me think of that, and I don't like country. I don't like country in the slightest.
But you grew up in the country, so you were.
Yeah, I know. So it's all around me. But yeah, so it automatically makes me think of that anytime I hear that song. Even though Wichita's not in it.
No, it doesn't. It makes me think of Wichita Falls, Texas at times, which is, of course, one of the places where you can go to Buc-ee's. Now, I have long been 2 years now, few years. I have been a Buc-ee supporter since I had the chance to go. And this weekend, something miraculous happened, Jamie.
Yeah.
You got to go to a Buc-ee's yourself.
I did. I really did. So Springfield has a Buc-ee's, and soon Raymore will be having a Buc-ee's.
Potentially.
No. It's done.
Did they announce today?
They've already announced it. Right, the city of Raymore announced.
Oh, I 100% missed it. Last I heard yesterday is they were still talking about Peculiar and KCK were put out their feelers for Buc-ee's.
No, yeah, the city of Raymore posted a thing and said Buc-ee's, and then they expanded out and this is where it is. It's coming soon.
Huh?
It's on the Book of Faces, guys, so it had to be true.
Anyway, that's great.
Yeah, so we went to Buc-ee's for the first time, and we're on our way home from the tournament and everything, and I have to say, those were some of the cleanest bathrooms I have ever been in.
Dude.
And they're so nice.
Full stalls? It's like individual rooms for each stall? I mean, it's just oh.
Dude, it was crazy. I am still in awe of how nice it was. Literally so nice. You go in there, it smells nice and everything. Just the bathroom alone. Food was pretty cool. I ended up just getting their beef burrito, just something quick.
Oh, okay.
Nothing like I didn't get because the line for the pork things was just out of control. So I'm like, all right, I'll just go do this. Plus, like I'm driving 4 hours, so I don't want to. I got a burrito. I don't know what I was thinking, but anyway.
Yeah.
No, it was great. I got a T-shirt. I'm not wearing it, but yeah, we did the thing. It's busy as hell there. That place was a mess.
I mean, what were your first impressions when you stepped inside of it? Because you kind of knew what to expect, but it's like the sheer volume of it, the wall of jerky, all the food and sundries, and then like the mall that they have next to it, basically.
Yeah, I would say I got Christmas at Target vibes.
That's a good feeling. That's a good explanation. It really is.
There's just masses of humanity there.
There absolutely
Food was
is.
good though.
Food was good. The gas is usually cheaper than everywhere else, which is amazing.
Oh, dude, yeah. I paid $2.79 a gallon, guys.
Ooh.
Like that's all I gotta say about that.
Ridiculous. Well, I will say, and I do get what you're saying. I do hear what you're saying, Heather. Heather, for those of you not watching us live on YouTube. By the way, we do this every Wednesday live on YouTube. I do get what you're saying there. I know that's a lot of the reason there was the whole with Ethan Page and Ruby Soho, Ruby, the Rubeaver thing, right? Because she's the same way. She's like, it's too much. I get anxiety in there, and I get that. I hear you. But I love the overwhelming.
Yeah, but she ended up buying a onesie, which was like the best thing ever.
No, he bought her a onesie.
Yeah, but either way, she wore it and took pictures in it. So that's all
she lost the bet. And I have one of those shirts because it was amazing. She had no chance of winning that bet because there was an amazing shirt for him of her. And I will say this. I love Buc-ee's. I love all their little stuff that they have. I'm a sucker for some kitsch. So, beaver nuggets, the wall of jerk, all the good. And it's all good stuff, too. Like, it's something that, they're different trail mixes and all that shit. The barbecue sandwich is good, but they have these breakfast biscuits they serve all day that are fucking amazing. Giant biscuits. Oh, maybe they didn't have. I know when I was there, it was like 2-3 in the afternoon and they still had them out. So
I'll eat breakfast 24/7 365.
If you go there and you see them, you gotta get some of their breakfast sandwiches because they are bomb. But
all right, as much as I want to be a fat boy and talk about food, why don't we change gears and talk a little wrestling?
Let's do that because we seem to talk about food a little too much on this podcast.
We know a few things. We know how to eat. And we know wrestling. So, you know what today is?
Today is the 12th of June, the year of our Lord, 2024.
Yes. It is also the 19-year anniversary of ECW's One Night Stand.
Oh, I feel old, thanks.
Jericho does know about corn. Well said. So... ladies and gentlemen, in this day, we get to just remember One Night Stand that had Team 3D or the Dudley Boys, however you want to call them. You had Mike Awesome. You had Sandman, Sabu, RVD, of course. You had the remembrance of the glory days that was ECW. So I ask you, JJ.
Mm-hmm.
What or who is your favorite ECW moment?
Oof.
Yeah.
That's hard to put. Oh, man, that's tough. I mean, you do have the New Jack almost dying, the scaffold match.
He didn't almost die. It was the other guy who almost died because he tased him. That's the top fiver for sure.
I mean, see, a lot of ECW kind of runs together for me. I'm not going to lie. Okay. I will say that there are like I remember certain things. I remember when I can't remember what he called it, but when RVD unveiled for the first time his Coast to Coast, what did he call? Was it the Van Daminator? What was that called?
No, it was just the Van Daminator is just the usual kick.
He had a name for it. He used.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about.
I forgot what
But
it was.
first time he pulled that out, it was kind of like, and then eventually,
Pop.
yeah. Then eventually, I mean, so you saw. I remember moments like that, right? You see something you haven't ever seen, right? And you know, one of those, of course, is not Sabu being put on fire because that felt like that happened every other week. But I just think in general, you know, my favorite has to be. Like I said, I can't put it out because I wasn't a huge ECW watcher. It was a little tough. I just didn't get into it a ton while it was still live, not until later on, you know. So, you know, I think learning more about some of the stuff in the past. Sandman was always my favorite, you know, because he was just brutal as all get up, walking through the crowd with the beers. Anytime he did that, that got me up. So you were a lot more hardcore ECW. What was your favorite moment?
So there's quite a few great ones. I was definitely like the chairs getting thrown in the middle, you know, on top of Terry Funk and Cactus Jack.
Yeah.
Like that is just a moment that just lives in infamy in my life. You know, there's so many great ones. I mean, Sabu just being insane, and like I don't know if you remember the Born to Be Wired pay-per-view, where the wire it was barbed wire, like the ropes were barbed wire the entire time.
I do. They tried to recreate it in TNA a lot more tamer, you know, but yeah.
I mean, there's so many crazy things that happened. I will say this. In my heart of hearts believe this. If it wasn't for ECW, there would not be a Attitude Era. And let me explain what I mean by that.
Go for that.
They were the first to do blood, like on TV. They were the first ones to have scantily clad women, you know, getting power bombed with their butts hanging out of their dresses. Hello, Francine. You know, but you know, they're the ones who kind of brought that to the mainstream, and that's where they got their success. And Vince straight stole it. And then he took it and made it better. Like he totally went, you know, Roman on the Greeks, you know, like that whole thing. Like, hey, we're gonna steal their culture and make it better, and that's what they just basically did. And, I forever and ever will love ECW. In my heart of hearts, Rob Van Dam is one of the best wrestlers that this world has ever seen, and I love it. I was not, and like the funny thing is I'm not into death matches and stuff like that as much now as I was back when I was a kid. I just love the violence then, and now I guess since I'm older, I'm like,
kids growing a little older, you're like, oh, a little more tame.
He's fine.
I want to talk just a quick second about One Night Stand, because I think Clint talked a little, or somebody made mention of it real fast here, but it definitely, it had that feeling, and you kind of talked about it as like the end of the ECW at a source. Yes, they continued on with the terrible rebrand that they did on TV, right? You know, it was under the fold. But it was that last shot. It was that we know we're going out of business, according to like the ECW fans, right? You know, for what is ECW. This is our last hurrah. And they brought all the steps, all, you know, everything. Not just the wrestlers, not just RVD and, you know, the Dudleys and all them, Sandman and whatnot. The passionate fans. Like ECW, to this day, you hear ECW chants all over the place, right?
Yeah. And all those people are old as us.
Right. A lot of those have merged into like GCW fans, right? Because it's the most spiritual successor in the modern age, I would say, to what ECW's fandom was, right? It's not the same, but it's kind of that most spiritual thing. And I just love the fact, like, remember when they were in the Hammerstein and they're getting ready to kick off the main event? How many times did John Cena throw his shirt back into the crowd?
I mean, that was a great moment, man.
That's
like,
quintessential
you
what an
mess with that moment.
ECW show is. You talk about the chair thing. Everybody's tried to replicate it, and it can never be duplicated. It's one of those things that would just live in infamy, right? No matter how much you try, you will not get that outpouring because you won't have that fan base. And God, 19 years. That's crazy, man. Well,
yeah, and the thing too is like that was one of Mike Awesome's last times on TV or around, because obviously, you know, he kind of unalived himself, unfortunately, and
yeah,
you know, but he was an amazing wrestler. Just kind of got the short end of the stick.
I mean, they had.
I'm trying something new, guys.
My chat disappeared.
Yeah, it went to a question. It's a Q&A. I know what it means.
All right. Well, while Jamie's messing with everything here, I don't know what you did.
It says start Q&A, so it started a Q&A, guys. Yeah, what else? I'm trying stuff, guys. I'm just trying things out, see how it feels.
Well, for those of you still with us here, Heather, you're in charge, by the way. And Jack, because I can't.
Inmates are running the ship right now.
keep chatting and chat. Hopefully we'll be back to this soon. I don't know.
You can flip over to the live chat.
Do you how? Oh, up there, questions, live chat. There we go. Technology.
Man.
All right.
I'm not saying I'm smarter than you, but I figured it out pretty quick.
Yeah, well, proof is in the pudding, unfortunately. So I am the champion, so there is that. But
champion's upstairs.
I mean, the belt's right there. I don't know what you're talking about. It's literally right there.
The belt's right there, actually.
Speaking of belts, we have lots of belts on display on our television set this evening.
Cactus Jack, absolutely. Big Cactus Jack guy.
Let's talk about Dynamite.
Absolutely, we should talk about Dynamite. Dynamite, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it was a show. And overall, I felt like it was a pretty good show. Now, was it their best? No. Was it their worst? No. Was it mediocre? Not even. I would say it was like, if 5's the line, I would say a 6, maybe a 7.
I think that it felt like they got back to more. Even though there's some squashes in here, they got back to wrestling more, right? I mean, you had 1, 2, 3.
Less WWE. Which, by the way, I was a glutton for punishment on Monday, and I watched.
You watched
Raw.
the whole thing again?
Not saying that. Okay, I that sounds bad. Raw was actually pretty good. Don't get me wrong. Raw was actually really good. But out of 3 hours, there was only an hour and 6 minutes worth of wrestling.
You had to time it.
In 20-something seconds.
Well, that's a third. I mean,
we did almost have another live sex act between Liv Morgan and.
I love what they're doing with the whole Liv and Dom thing, and then like the whole like back segment. Why be with somebody who forces you to call her mommy when you can be with somebody who calls you daddy? It was just like, boy, we were pushing that envelope. When does this Netflix era start? You don't like it, Clint? Okay, I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, no, I am really liking the storylines that they are building. We are going to watch Clash at the Castle. Hopefully we get to see Drew McIntyre win in his home country. I really like what Drew McIntyre is doing on Twitter and his character work. Like Drew's solid. I know we're gonna get to Dynamite, guys, and I apologize, but
That's fine.
WWE's doing
We'll
some
talk a little
really good
Fed.
shit right now, and I gotta give him props.
Do you think that Drew would still be employed with WWE if he? Because I truly believe his Twitter, his like off the camera work, is what's reinvigorated his character. Like without that, I think he would have fallen through the cracks. They might not just even or they would have re-signed him and buried him.
No, he's too much of a top guy talent nowadays. I still think he would have figured it out, but his Twitter game has definitely taken him to a new era. Yeah, the Born to Be Wired. Yeah, there you go.
50 Shades of Ray.
No, 50 Shades of Ray. Jesus.
Good Lord, Heather.
Heather's on fire tonight, guys. But yeah, no, I like what they're doing right now. But so here's the thing, Raw, but you gotta take it in bits and pieces, man. Like I'm learning their style. The production is like top notch. Like what they're doing production wise is saintly.
I'm not gonna disparage on Raw because I think that
SmackDown's the main show though. Like that's the show you watch.
And NXT is really good, and we're not so far away. It's under a year now. They will be on Netflix, and once they're on Netflix, I am confident it's not going to be this 3 hours with commercials slog. Right? I think it's going to be a lot. I don't know. I think that the production is improved dramatically over what it was even a year ago, and
oh yeah.
Once they get on Netflix, they're going to have more freedom and flexibility for some things. And I'm really interested to see how it goes. I could see them doing like a 2 hour, 2:15 Raw, right? Still budget in? You think they're going to keep the 3 hours?
3 hours. Get all those advertising dollars because they show more commercials than they have matches. Like in match time.
I know. And I know Netflix still shows commercials. Money, I know they're still going to show commercials through the Netflix. I know that's how they do things now, but I don't know.
And what can Pat McAfee not do? Because he did so good announcing too, man. Like, damn it. Like you want to hate Pat, and like he just makes it impossible.
Well, that's the point.
I've officially
he garnishes emotions. You know, I mean,
he's so good.
That's why his podcast was so successful. That's why, it's just.
Yeah, and Ricochet, I agree with Clint. Ricochet's going to AEW. Like, there's no way in hell he's not. And then we get him and Ospreay 5.
Oh. Him and Ospreay, and Phoenix, him and Swerve.
We got him and Phoenix today, and oh my goodness.
I'll talk about him being Ricochet.
No. We got Ospreay Phoenix today, and then you go, okay, well, hold my beer. Here's Ospreay Ricochet for the 5th time. Yes, please.
I mean, but that second one,
by far the best one ever. That's when Ricochet still had hair. Yeah,
it was one of the most amazing matches. I will fight anybody. It was the Super J's, I believe. And,
Super J Cup.
That's when I first kind of found out who Will Ospreay was. I go, okay.
Yeah, that's when he only had like one finisher and not the 8 that he has now.
Right. But they went like a solid 2.5 minutes of just reversing each other for no good reason in the middle of the match. Just boom, 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 and they kept going. And they did the impossible. They made a Japanese audience get riled up.
Which typically you just get the claps, ooh, and the claps, right?
Yeah.
Which, speaking of Japanese, I don't know, have you seen that Electric Callboy, my new favorite band, has done a collab with Baby Metal, and it's amazing.
I saw it pop up on my suggestion, but I haven't watched it yet.
It's amazing. It's Rat-a-Tata.
All right, I will have to.
It is everything you expect.
It's popped up on my suggested. I'll make sure to watch it.
Well, Baby Metal sings in English, dude. Like that's all you need to know.
I'm never a big fan of Baby Metal. Not gonna lie.
Oh, dude, I actually I've started to like them, but I'm more on the Electric Callboy train just because of the
I never
whatever
hated,
it is. Yeah,
I didn't hate Baby Metal. I don't know, just never really did it for me.
I get you.
I like metal.
It's better than the Rev, whatever the guy who does Def Rebel, whatever, who does all the new themes for WWE. They are god awful. I don't know if you heard them.
They are. I've heard a few. They're bad.
Hey, let's take a really good one and let's make it a remix. Or hey, Tiffany Stratton had a solid one in NXT. So how about we open up with "It's Tiff Time"? Like, come on, man. Come on, man.
Johnny Gargano had one of the best themes ever when he was in. It fit him. It was perfect, and they remixed it to just the other shitness that he has now. It drives me crazy. Now, I've been listening to a lot of Crazy 88 lately, man. I just got into them. They are amazing.
Nice.
So good.
Yeah, but I'm into that whole techno metal vibe thing.
Yeah, I will definitely give it my eyes and ears, 100%.
Yeah, so they got this one song called Parasite, and then I know we'll talk wrestling, guys. I promise.
We swear this is a wrestling podcast. Believe us.
Yeah, but okay. So you've seen the movie Blade like 1,000 times, right? Just like I have. In the very beginning where they're at the blood rave or whatever, and the drums like how it's like the beat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have that
song. So of course, like I naturally I love this song. I don't even care if it's any good anymore because it has that same beat like in the beginning, and they work it in. It's like, yep.
I actually have that song somewhere buried on my hard drive here. I don't know where, but it is good. I just changed the computer. Actually, it's on my old hard drive. Right.
Clint asks, "Will Otis finally knock the shit out of Chad Gable this weekend at Clash of the Castle?" And if I was a storyline guy, I would say no. I say he helps him, and then he feels really bad about it, and then on Monday, this is when the turn happens, and then you get the Otis Chad Gable feud for the belt, which Chad Gable will win.
I think that screams SummerSlam to me. For
that match, absolutely.
I mean, I think he'll turn. I don't think he's going to slap the shit out of him until they actually have the match, though.
Monday Night Raw is when it happens. Shoosh.
God bless that they're both getting attention, especially Otis.
And Chad Gable's technically a free agent right now.
Well, yeah.
Technically, but everybody says he's signed a new contract.
I know, there's a lot
that he has.
I mean, I think the only one out there is Ricochet that I would say is even a possibility. Really, a possibility. I kind of liked Austin's theory about Natalya, but I don't think she'll actually leave.
Austin theory? What?
Austin Reddick.
Austin theory? You said Austin's theory?
Austin's theory. Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So Clint,
I am over that. I am over it, Clint. I'm sorry.
Dude, you're an idiot. That's all I gotta say about that. I'm all in on Uncle Howdy and his Salacious Six or whatever they want to call themselves. It is officially happening Monday. They will be here Monday.
Is it officially happening? It's starting to feel like Veer over in this motherfucker.
Oh no. They've been planting seeds with their little things.
I know.
Megan's got this whole thing figured out. Like if you've seen Sonny with a Chance, when he's trying to figure stuff out, like that's Megan about this.
Megan's in the mailroom.
The Spooky Squad, yes.
I mean, I want it to be good for a multitude of reasons. Mostly, and just like everyone else, mostly to honor Bray more than anything else. Okay?
Yeah, and it will.
But it's just. I feel like it's like get to the point. Sometime get to it.
Hey, if there's one thing that I've learned, WWE is really damn good at slow burn. They're like really good at slow burns, because then typically the payoff's pretty good. Like very, very rarely does that payoff is flat.
I mean, they are the anti-White Castle, that's for sure. That's an inside joke there, folks. All right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, let's talk about the AEW Dynamite that did happen, and it starts off with none other than our world champion, the second most over wrestler in AEW right now. I mean that's just a fair statement. I'm sorry. Swerve Strickland opening up, talking about Forbidden Door, him and Ospreay, and
it's fine.
I love his cadence.
Mm-hmm.
At first I didn't quite get it but now the way he talks and everything, and how intellectual he is with some of the things he does, I'm very, very happy. And
It's like
go ahead.
it's like really him. It's just which is what I love
Yeah.
about it. Because if you're watching interviews of him, that's how he talks, and he's a very smart man, right? You know, but he's definitely got a little bit of this edge to him, you know. But he kind of brings, you know, and that exact same sort of cadence into how his promos go, right?
Yeah.
He's not going to come out there and be like MJF and just bang in your face and drop a line, right? It's going to be more smooth with it, more slinky, and I dig
He's
it.
more slow jam instead of, a rabbit. It's, banging in faces at all.
I love you too, Clint. All right.
Yeah, no, but obviously, he definitely hyped up the match. He referred to the Tiger Driver 91, which I thought was an excellent little thing. But then he also did say, he respects Ospreay and as a champion, and unlike the Bucks, he has defended his
he does
title.
say that Ospreay's not a killer, though. That's his problem. He's not a killer.
He's not a killer. That's right.
He became an assassin for a little bit, but he's not a killer like him,
Yes. Oh no, he looked pretty killer in the main event.
Well,
We'll get there.
That's good. That's a AEW pin moment. They're putting a pin like boop.
Yes.
This is kind of our signature. So,
But I loved at this moment though when he did call out the Bucks. Instantly, the Elite interrupt and the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada says,
doing Lord's
"It's
work
his
out
house, bitch."
I mean, Okada it is so simple, but as a mark, it gets me every time. You just trot Okada to say something and cuss, and then pass the mic along, and that's it. It's perfect. It's great.
Yes. Yeah. Then Matthew and Nicholas, at that point, run down everything, and the Elite challenges AEW's best to the most violent match in AEW. Blood and Guts, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Blood and Guts is back. It has been disappointing since the first one. I'm not even gonna lie. First one was amazing, and then after that, it's like,
Yeah.
so hopefully this one will get up. So we'll see. That is going to be in Memphis,
Nashville.
right? Memphis,
Nashville,
whatever. It's in
Tennessee.
Sorry, Heather. I know you live.
Sorry, Heather.
Yeah, I know you live in one of them, and I'm probably offending you with whatever. Nashville hot,
Just don't say Roll Tide, and you'll be fine. Okay.
Yeah, Roll Tide. But then,
but it's going to be on Wednesday. It's going to be on Wednesday. That's my See, and I think that the first one they were just going to town with it, right? They didn't know what to do with it. They were fucking with it, and it was a great thing, right? Until they put Blood and Guts like they did with War Games and put it in a pay-per-view. And you're welcome. I don't know if Blood and Guts can be what we want it to be, because it's only so long that match can be on TV.
Make it an hour. Who cares? Have like one other match and some promos and just an hour.
I agree. I am not a TV executive though.
I think that would have ratings for days,
Right,
especially if they did something where they like electrified it or something, make it really cool.
I mean, it's like we want to make this like ultra violent. They can only go so far, right? So,
I mean, you can say shit on TV a whole bunch and fuck a couple times.
No,
so why can't you have a little extra blood?
I don't know, but
maybe somebody here will tear off their bicep like Sabu. That's callback, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just saying. I feel like we would get a better Blood and Guts if they did it as a pay-per-view or at a pay-per-view. That's my opinion.
I agree, but do you put on Forbidden Door? Do you put all in or all out?
Oh.
That's the thing. Like, it's perfect for their little mini pay-per-views.
I know, because realistically, the McMahonian way of thinking would be, this is a new pay-per-view because we have an open slot. In between these two pay-per-views, you make a Blood and Guts pay-per-view. That's what you would do, right?
Yeah.
And I really don't want them to do that, so I'm glad they're not. But then again, like I said, it's one of those. I don't know. There's no right answer to that. It's just a feeling. So anyway,
I got a feeling.
so they make the announcement, and then out comes two of the eventual participants of Blood and Guts, obviously.
Yeah. The Acclaimed, shocker. And then obviously Billy comes out there as well. It sounds like Swerve's gonna be a part of this match, which is cool. So you got the biggest names in there. So you get the Acclaimed in there. So there's two of them, maybe three. I don't know if they'd put Billy in there. I think it should just be the two.
Well,
honestly.
it's gonna be 5-on-5 because they offered to Swerve for him to join them, and he told him to get bent, more or less.
Yeah, he politely declined. Maybe not politely. But he said, nah, it's a no for me, dog. But yeah, so
Claimed Swerve.
Yeah.
Probably Ospreay as well. I mean, I don't know.
And then the weird thing after that was Christopher Daniels coming out and interrupting and saying it's time for in-ring action. Like, just stopped. Is like, okay, this is getting dumb. Like, I kind of appreciate it a little bit. And it's Jungle Man, JMJP. Jungle Man Jack Perry going up against Dustin Rhodes, the Natural, baby, in a TNT Championship qualifier match.
It was I like the angle of it. Your match starts now. He's not changed. He's not dressed. What are you doing? And so he wrestles anyway in his jeans. Dustin Rhodes has John Moxley disease, it feels like. So, of course, he gets bloody every time he's in the ring lately. Bleeding like a stuck pig. But, again, Dustin Rhodes doesn't have bad matches on television. And, again, we get a really good match that did its purpose of putting the hell over Jack Perry, who's not far behind on that list of over wrestlers. He is up there, for sure. And
yes, he is.
Officially in the ladder match at Forbidden Door. So you got Mark Briscoe, Konosuke Takeshita, Jack Perry, halfway filled up.
I mean, that's a hell of a lineup already.
So ready for that match. You know this.
So if I was a bet man, which I am, odds are on Jungle Man for sure.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
But at the end of the day, I keep eating crow for all the bad shit I ever said about Jungle Boy Jack Perry since he is now Jungle Man. He is what we wanted out of Wardlow. I'll put it that way.
Yeah,
we expected Wardlow to be like, you were the Jungle's in blood. And
that's a great connection there. Absolutely.
Clearly, Jungle Man Jack Perry had higher ground.
And yeah, who knew, right? And if you want to go back and see, we got several hundred episodes down below. You can watch our old videos. You can watch Jamie really dig into his disdain for the boy of the jungle.
Oh, I never shit on his wrestling ever. Just his promo skills and his character were god awful. And now both of them are magnifique. And I'm just
the simple answer, especially in our books, it's more specifically in your book, is always turn somebody heel, make them more interesting, right? And generally speaking, it usually works. That's why we say it, but not always. But with Jack Perry, it was the classic case of turn him heel. No, really heel. And you made it work. So. Oh, we feel that way about Sasha, too. Don't you worry, Heather. We 100% agree on that.
Yeah. Hold your phone. or hold your money.
Before we get to that, we got to get to the best promo we've probably seen in God knows how long.
That's a bold statement, brother.
I like putting bold statements out there.
I know, but it was still amazing, and Heather hit on as soon as she hopped on. Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy got to have front row seats to the Mark Briscoe show. Like,
and there was the whole promo was talking about Kyle, then Orange, this and that. And then at the end, Mark's like, Ray, can I say something real fast? Sure, Mark. And poof, kick open that door. And he just goes to town. I mean, there's a congregation. What did he say? I wrote it down. Conglomeration of talent going on here.
ooh, conglomeration. Nice.
Yeah. I hope he was gonna say confluence, but that's a little too refined. But oh my God, thank you for typing that out for me. Yeah. My God, Mark Briscoe. It's like he just keeps going in the best way, in the most. We long questioned after Jay had passed. Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. What do you do with Mark? How's Mark handled? Mark's always been a tag guy, right? Yes, he had single stuff, but it was always against his brother, mostly, So, but they finally found that niche for him, and I think he's finally found his voice, and he just brought back the old Briscoe vibes. And my God, I mean, Renee's breaking character. She breaks character all the time, but made her like damn near like bend over laughing, breaking character. Willow's in the back, just like eating it all up. It was so good, so refreshing, and again, unscripted AF. Mark Briscoe, give it to me.
I mean, even if it was scripted, like, damn, like he's coming to his own. Very happy for him. I wish nothing but success, especially after this. So right after that, we had squash match numero uno of the night, and like how I did Uno. We had Roosh versus local competitor Dion Russman.
Is that a cultural appropriation right there? I can't tell.
No.
Maybe
It's on the nose.
Maybe a little.
It's on the nose, that's all.
Squash match, real fast. Cool. But then he goes and he talks about lazy Americans, stands on his neck, and out comes MJF. Which they then announced next week we're opening commercial-free MJF and Roosh. Thoughts?
In the immortal words of one of the executives at Callahan Auto, give me some of that.
I thought for sure that was going to be a Forbidden Door match. And it still could be.
Yeah. It still can be, yeah. Or they get attacked by CMLL guys.
And then you have Roosh and MJF team up.
Yeah. Unholy alliance, bro.
Because that's worked well for MJF.
Yeah, it's panned out every time. No problems whatsoever.
I'm excited. And I like the fact that there's been a lot of chatter about the disorganization of the weekly running of the shows from backstage sources, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like that there's at least a little forethought coming forward. We're going to open with this, and it's going to start. Maybe it's just a one-off thing, and it's not addressing any problems. Maybe there is no problems. Who knows? I'm just excited that they're going to do. I like when AEW does this. They do stuff. Blood and Guts is a good example. We don't get that on WWE programming. Very rarely do you see a cage or anything like that, right? Occasionally you do. Sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But out of the blue, out of nowhere, like, hey, we're going to start off with a 20, 25-minute match, no commercials. You're welcome. It's like, okay.
That match is going to be amazing, except for the finish, and we both know why.
We haven't seen
MJF missile.
We haven't seen him wrestle since he's come back. He might have a different finisher in that place. You don't know.
God, I pray. I pray to the wrestling gods every night that I never see another heat seeker. I will say this. If he has a different finisher and never busts out, if he doesn't bust out the heat seeker in this match, I will retire Lion Tamer for the next Fountain City Pro Show. I will not say it at that show. If he doesn't do it, he has a different finisher. But if he does it, you have to join in on the Lion Tamer stuff.
I usually do join in on your Lion Tamer stuff.
I know.
Not lately, but I will. Deal.
We've been really good about starting like 95% of the chant.
We are the chant guys at Fountain City, 100%.
We're the chant guys. What's up, guys? We're the chant
you know if he pulls it out or if he doesn't pull it out, you can't say Lion Tamer. You know I am going to do everything in my power to egg you on during the pre-show. Which, by the way, we are doing the pre-show again, Fountain City Pro. Stay tuned for more details on that coming up. I know, right? It's like the world's falling apart, Clint. Who knows what's going on? Dogs and cats living together.
Yes, hysteria. Yeah, so like I said, if he doesn't do the Heat Seeker, the worst finisher in all of professional wrestling, which actually, I'm going to go on a little tangent. On the way to practice today,
okay,
I had Audrey and Megan with me and Jessica because I had to take Audrey to her game and I was meeting Jen there. We do this like little game where we do like top fives. Like give your top five, favorite artist or whatever. And so it was my turn to pick. I'm like, top 5 wrestling finishers of all time.
And they both roll their eyes.
Yeah, well, Megan, of course, like had her list ready to go.
Oh, 100%.
And it was so funny. Like Audrey goes, "What does Heidi Howitzer do?" I'm like, "She does center." That one. Okay, whatever the Howlets do. I'm like, the barrage. Okay, that one. And then she's like, whatever Stormy Renee does. I'm like, I've never even seen her finish her. Okay, whatever she does. It was the funniest thing.
So Audrey. Oh my God.
Yeah. And then and so I'm going to ask you, I'll tell you my list.
Okay.
So
I'll prepare myself.
Even though the Lion Tamer is my favorite submission, it is not my favorite finisher.
What? Well, thanks for playing. Thanks for coming to Spotfest, guys. I don't know. We're done talking, apparently, because words have escaped me.
So my number one finisher of all time is Sweet Chin Music.
Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty on brand. So.
Yeah. Sweet Chin Music, then the Lion Tamer. And then after that, I just did a cutter section. So like Diamond Cutter, RKO, like all the cutters, like all of them right there. Was at that list. And then I did the Stunner after that. And then my 5th one, I decided to pull in a women's finisher, and I did the Widowmaker.
Ooh, the Widow's Peak.
Widowmaker.
Is that what the back? Okay, I thought.
Yeah, the Victoria did.
Victoria.
The Widow's Peak was the one that AJ did.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, Widow. Okay. Too many similar names. All right, so top 5 finishers. God, and I gotta rank them. Can I just throw them out there and we don't? Okay, so.
Yep.
Let's
top
do
5
this.
finishers.
What goes above what? All right, number 1. Oh, jeez, no. Okay, all right. I reserve the right to come back and make it as this down the road. But for number 1, Muscle Buster. First time I saw it, I almost shit my pants. I was like, "What was that?"
That's a good one.
He also did it at times where he didn't actually fall backwards. He kind of fell down straight on his butt, and it was even more brutal. Muscle Buster. Definitely up there. I would say I'm a lop-in, cutter, stunner variants because
stunner's different than a cutter.
Okay, well then I will throw in there the stunner.
Oh, Shauna Hair, yes. Thank you. The Widowmaker is amazing.
Thank you. But I will throw in there stunner. Okay. The way the stunner is done, different. Cutters are fine, but the stunner. I know this is kind of a blanket, but it's so good. It's so good, and it's not really used as a finisher a lot. I mean, hell, Sweet Chin Music is just a super kick that most people do, right?
No, it's not. It's different. He tunes up the band.
He tunes up the band. Excuse me. Okay. Spanish
It's not
Fly.
even the same thing, man.
But Spanish Fly is one of my favorite moves of all time, right?
It's not a finisher, dude. That's not a finisher. It's top 5 finishers. No one uses a Spanish Fly as a finisher.
I'm sure I could Google and find somebody who does. All right,
The
fine,
flux
fuck it.
capacitor off the top rope is the closest thing you have.
All right, I'm not going there because you're throwing that out. So I'm throwing there Styles Clash. Okay,
That's solid. That's a solid one. That's top 10.
very unique, very different. Michelle McCool tried to copy it, and it was fine. It was good for her too. But it's the Styles Clash. I would say, what is it? It's the words are tough. The Doomsday Device.
See, I have a separate tag team one, but I almost put that on there too because I love the Doomsday Device. The
It's so
original
cool.
3D.
Yes. The Doomsday Device. Oh god, it was so good. It was so good. It was so good. And I would finish it off with I'm trying to go back and think of any classic ones, Problem is, a lot of the classic ones, like the flying elbow, the leg drop, the DDT, right? It's like they were finishers for them, but they weren't like they were.
I can think of one that's no longer a finisher now that was a finisher back in the day, and I know you love this move. Like it's just screaming you. I'll give you a hint. We saw one in Escalera de la Muerta off of the ladder.
That's it was because that was Petey Williams' finishing move, the Canadian Destroyer. Thank you, Jamie. That's it.
You're welcome.
Okay, that's moving up somewhere on the list, 100%.
The fact that you actually call it the Destino makes me happy because a lot of people call it the Poison Rana nowadays. That's a Tetsuya Naito move. Mm-hmm. So, yes, that's a great one. I mean, there's so many great ones. I mean, as much as I don't want to bring up a certain person who killed his family, but that crossface, I love that as a thing.
Crossface was fantastic. Was it? Wasn't Saturn? Who of that era did the Brainbuster for their finisher?
The Brainbuster as a finisher? Perry Saturn had the Rings of Saturn.
He had the Rings of Saturn. Somebody had a Brainbuster they did as a finisher. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
It's really the first time you saw a Brainbuster, it was like brought into the
Razor's Edge still is really high on the list.
Razor's Edge is real good. I mean, I was trying to think back to things, too, and it's like there's a lot of finishers set themselves up well for tag teams because tag teams had that signature moment, right? The Shatter Machine, the Meltzer. I
love the Shatter Machine. It's one of the best finishers.
Shatter Machine's finished. I'm not gonna lie. I don't mind the high-low from DIY, right?
Yeah, it's simple, but it's
meet me in the middle, whatever they call it. I think high-low was undisputed. It was meet me in the middle is what they called it, and that was so good.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the 3D is iconic.
I almost went rock bottom because it's a Uranagi and it gets me close to pulling out a Uranagi, but
Samoa rock bottom. You can't really mess with it.
You can't mess with it. It's not a bad one. Although Samoa Joe's Uranagi is infinitely better, especially in his youth. Oh, so good.
I mean, there's so many solid. The F5, like the fact that it just looks cool. That's the thing. Some of these, the One Winged Angel was on my list too. I totally forgot about that because no one kicks out of it. No one kicks out of it.
One Winged Angel, the BME. What about the BME? It's just a moonsault.
BME/PME. That was on Megan's list. The PME.
Okay.
Because she's all about Tiffy time.
I got you.
I am too. Like, if you watch Tiffany Stratton, not only is she drop dead gorgeous, homegirl can wrestle.
I tell you, Sol Ruka's will be one day on people's
list. Soul Snatcher. She put that on her list too. Like the Soul Snatcher.
It's a ridiculous move.
The flipping cutter. Like, come on now. And of course, they did one off a ladder for the North American Women's title, which is like I called it out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Megan did too.
Sure.
I was like, no, that's coming. But no, there's just so many great finishers, and I just wanted to go down that rabbit
I can't
hole
believe
with
you only had one submission on there. No sharpshooter, no camel clutch.
So the sharpshooter's high on the list, but actually that's my
That's your number 6 if you had to extend it out.
well, hold on. I have arm submissions and I have leg submissions, and my top 5 leg submissions. That is my number 3 leg submission.
And nobody here should be surprised with any of that statement whatsoever.
Yeah, so Lion Tamer obviously is number 1, but my number 2 is the Cloverleaf. I love me a good
You love
Cloverleaf.
the Cloverleaf. I know you do. Yeah.
Oh, so good.
What about the
It is
STF?
such an underappreciated. That one is not on my top 5.
Okay. It's a good one though.
Yeah, I love a good knee bar too.
Knee bars are good.
Figure 4 leg lock is on there. It has to be.
I'm not big on arm bars, but I do like the rear naked chokes.
Arm
number 4.
And how it came back to Chris Jericho. So speaking of Mr. Chris Jericho,
let's jump to Chris Jericho, because Chris Jericho should have got some TV time tonight. Oh wait, he did.
He absolutely did. And before we get to the trios match, let's talk a bit about the man, the myth, the legend. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Jericho.
The Michael Jordan of Michael Jordans. What is this?
So
I mean,
his whole TV time segment when he had the tree out there and everything.
you notice how they started to put decorations on there? You got there's a little apple with like Brian Key's face crudely drawn on it.
So of course he's trying to get Private Party to be a part of the learning tree, and those guys, they keep trying to put them in factions, like one or the other, and it just never seems like it works.
Well, I don't think they're putting them in this faction. They're setting up a feud, which is good for them because they're giving them something to do. It's
great for them.
I mean, now that they're both finally healthy, and Quinn looks fantastic. I mean, the way he was gyrating, he should be back to 100%. Let's be honest.
Yo.
I mean, Quinn, Zay's fantastic, but Quinn was always my favorite. His shooting star press is one of the prettiest out there,
if not the.
That's another good move, if you want to throw that, somebody does.
Oh, I have an aerial list.
Of course you have an aerial list. Why not? But, they come out there, they do the little thing, and, they're setting up a little bit, which is going to be fine. It's going to be good. It's good for them. It's good to keep, this is the kind of stuff that, he's telling a bunch of Iowans how to grow corn. Fantastic, Chris.
I just love how he's made this god awful thing into something amazing. Like, this is classic Chris Jericho. 2 months ago, we wanted him completely off our TV forever and ever, and now we can't get enough of this damn thing because he's legit making fun of himself, and that's the best thing about it.
I mean, his new shirt. Hi, guys.
Hey, guys. Yeah, I know. It wasn't black.
So, of course it was black.
Of course it is, because, that's
Wrestling
all they
t-shirts.
make is black wrestling shirts. Only if there's a shirt called obligatory black wrestling t-shirt that you could buy.
I know. There is, but we'll get that buy thing set up soon.
Dude.
We have to... Anyway, we'll talk about that.
I know. All right. So let's get back to some wrestling. Let's talk about that trios match. You had Roderick Strong, Kensuke Takeshita, and Kyle Fletcher with Don Callis and Trent Beretta, which, by the way, I don't know if I told you. I forgot to send this to you. I saw Trent Beretta at the Salt Lake City airport yesterday.
No shit.
Yeah, at first I was like, that looks like Trent Beretta. And then I heard him talk. I'm like, that's Trent Beretta. And then I look over at him, I'm like, that's Trent Beretta. And then I even was like out loud, like, that's Trent Beretta. He just looked at me, gave me eye contact, and just gave me a nod, and we just both went our ways. I was like,
that's even better. That's all.
Yeah, I was like, hey, like I did that and just walked off. Like, because I don't want to be that guy. Like, hey, can I get a picture with you?
Right,
I know you're in a
right.
hurry.
I love what you're doing.
Don't be
man.
that guy.
Yeah, don't be that
Can you
guy.
sign these 18 things for me? Thanks.
Oh, don't be that guy. That's
Yeah,
amazing. That's
everybody
cool
hates them. So those guys went up against Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, and Kyle O'Reilly, which obviously we heard the Mark Briscoe promo of the century. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Fletcher did hit Mark Briscoe with that modified pile driver that he does to score the pinfall. After the match, though, you still had some sparks because Trent attacked Orange because that's not ending. But here comes Willow Nightingale to make the save. But Chris Statlander tosses her onto stage, attacking her. So,
I mean, for one, Kyle O'Reilly did not lose a match on Dynamite. He won a match. How about that? Match was fantastic. I loved this. This is my second favorite match of the night. It was great. The crowd loved it. And then just pulling out. And I know that, Austin was asking about if does this mean they're part of the family? Statlander. No, they're not part of Don Cal's family. It's just associated.
they're adjacent.
They're adjacent, right? They're an offshoot. They're not even a branch. They're the little apple tree next to the oak in the orchard, right? But it was good. It got good heat from the crowd. Statlander as a villain's getting really good heat, which I love to see. And she didn't say a word.
Always wrestle.
And and of course, Stokely doing the talking. They finally found that niche, so I'm in for it. So they're gonna keep running this back, and good. Why not, right? It's one of 3 women's stories you got in the main show right now, right?
Yeah.
If you want to include Collision, which by the way, 1 year of Collision this Saturday. 1 year anniversary.
Father's Day special.
Well, there is that. You do a couple other things they're doing on Collision, like the whole Deanna Thunder Rosa thing, a couple other stuff. But 3 on Dynamite, basically, you got 3 main storylines. So cool, good with it.
Yeah. Speaking of big time storyline, I don't know if you saw this, but the Japanese dragon Shingo Takagi entering a little tournament, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, they're
You just wonder.
Just throw that
Shingo
out there.
Takagi.
I mean, Takagi's not going to be a 1 and out. I mean, can't be, right?
No. You can't have him lose.
We're going to be getting a couple matches at least of Takagi.
He should at least be match 2.
I think you make it at least match 2, depending on how they're lining it all up. I mean, even a lot of people throw their name. You had a Pac promo where Pac passionately put his name into the hat, and I started to get thoughts of,
it was fire. Like he was like, I'm sick of losing. Like, I came back failure after failure and all that. Dude, it was solid.
Now you're getting angry Pac.
I'm at my best. You want a bastard, but I've been a bitch. I was like, dude, solid.
What about? I'm just throwing this out there. What about Pac Ospreay for All In? 2 English guys.
That's like double hard on.
It's a thought.
Like mega. I mean, yes.
We'll wait to see the tournament, how it shakes up. But I'm just.
What am I supposed to say? No.
Well, I know we talk about what do we do with the whole thing about Ospreay and Swerve being too soon, right? Well, maybe they got something bigger planned, and maybe he just wants to get all the English on the show. It's just like it's a thought. Who knows? There was another match. All right, so you had Premier Athletes versus the Hook and Joe Experiment, which I know you were around this time you were coming home. Did you catch this at all live?
No, I did get highlights of it. So here's the thing. I can't. I'm at the point where I can't stand Hook anymore. But I like Samoa Joe, so there's that.
And here's the point that I'll make. Okay, that's why I asked if you caught it live, because I know you got home like right around this time. Usually, this time of the show is about the time you get home, right? Yeah. So this is kind of that gap in what you catch.
Yeah, I'm listening to it.
Right. And they did good sound. They did the one camera shot thing, right? Where they started with, they did the premier athletes. They began their entrance. They went to back with the camera with them, and they followed them up as they walked all the way through. That camera was being manned by. Okay, I don't know who put Shibata in this. Like Shibata is not even saying anything. He's the best part of this, But Shibata was the cameraman, and Hook, and of course, and. Only one doing the talking is Joe, which is fantastic. Joe, where do you keep these cameras from? And you just hear, "Don't worry about it." And it's like, okay, that's comedy gold right there. And the whole time they're walking in up towards the ramp, Joe is like pestering him, trying to figure out why his dad likes orange. And what's the whole point about orange? I think I figured it out. It's because it's New York. New York's got Syracuse of the orange, right? So it's a Syracuse thing. And he goes, "No, my dad hates Syracuse." He goes, "Well, shit, I don't even know that." And they walk out and they start beating up the premier athletes. This was a better use of Hook than I have seen them do with this in forever. And it's not really to a credit to them because it's 100% Samoa Joe and a little bit, 98, and then you got a little bit Shibata in there, right? Hook is the disposable piece in this. But this was much more enjoyable because of those parts of it than anything we've seen with Hook in the past month or 6 weeks. So it was actually somewhat enjoyable.
Jury's out on Hook for me, but if I got Shibata and Joe, I'm good.
I mean, and the way they finish it, Joe hooks one of the people in the sleeper on the apron. Hook puts in the red rum. They get the tap out. And then on the outside, Shibata grabs Mark Sterling, who's doing the Lord's work, whose body immediately goes limp as he's giving him a sleeper on the outside. So good.
Yeah.
Shibata, Joe, that's the good stuff.
So
Hook can't survive by himself, Heather. Hook is not an independent talent. Let's put it that way. That's rough. Do I what?
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, where's Danhausen?
That's a good question. He's healthy.
Yeah, he's doing independent stuff, but he hasn't been on TV. It's like, dude, put him on Ring of Honor or something. Like, get him on TV. He's gold. It drives me nuts. You know what else drives me nuts? Mercedes Monday talking.
Well, the talking was minimal. The match was fine. The match wasn't bad.
Yeah, the match actually wasn't bad. That's the one thing about her that you have to admit. When she's in that squared circle, she's legit.
Just to Heather's point from earlier in the chat, make her a heel. Damn it! What are we doing?
Just hey, like what I always say, make him a heel, make him interesting.
And it's not wrong. But the thing is, that's not wrong in general. But there's certain people where it's very right. And Mercedes, just like Christian as a heel is loads better than Christian as a face. Loads.
Oh, by far.
Right?
By far. But everybody can't be heels. That's the
everybody
thing.
Can't be heels, but Mercedes definitely can because she needs to be a heel.
Oh, for sure. So Mercedes Mone, again, Mone. She beat is it Zexus? Zexus. I don't know why I want to say Zexus, but whatever.
Because there's an I there.
That's very Zexus of me.
There's an I there, and your brain says that's an is, but it's not.
Yeah.
Zexus.
So Zexus, she beat her. She hit the Money Maker on her.
Good name move. Good name finisher.
Solid.
Finish's okay, but it's a good name.
So have you had... Okay, so before the video of Mina Shirakawa came on, did you happen to see it on the social medias?
I did not. I've been on social media, not that social media, for shit. So.
Yeah. So first things first, if you aren't in love with Mina Shirakawa, you really need to have your pulse checked. Because she is, $1 million smile, but amazing wrestler, flamboyant. Like, she's got all the things that just triggers. Like, she's got it. That's probably the best way to put it. And like, she's just a lot of fun to watch, and her and Mariah together, Club Venus. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness! Like, yes, please. But this whole match between her and Tony, like we knew it was gonna come to a head, but the way that both of them are going about it, where it's not like they hate each other, it's more about like me. Oh my goodness! Like the more and more I see this, the more and more I just want this like it to be like a series of like 80 matches.
I mean, this is how you do matches where you have two people who don't really have any beef or any reason to be fighting each other, right? My initial thought about the whole 6-way or whatever they did with, Thekla is because that makes sense because the connecting thread is Mariah May. But you're right. Even though that they're signing the contract next week, they don't really care about each other at all. But that makes it all the more better. It's a rare instance you could say that. And I think that to put up something to match the timeless one herself, Toni Storm, you need something along an equal level, it's like everybody else is like kind of like, and here comes Serena Deeb, and here comes, Maria Shirakawa. She's got the personality, like you talk about. She has all the other tangible factors outside of just being a good women's wrestler who's associated with AEW to make it work. So
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what direction they go post this match. I'm not going to lie.
and to your point, and actually to Alex's point or Austin's point, I'm sorry. He did a really good job of talking about whenever anybody goes up against Toni, it's always about Toni. Just exactly what you said. It's Toni, 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 because she just outshines everybody.
Yeah.
And finally, you have somebody with enough personality and flamboyance to match personalities. And even though we already know how this is going to end, and that's totally fine that we already know how this is going to end, but we are entertained nonetheless by this. And I'm looking forward to the contract signing because I'm wondering if there's going to be like, if there's going to be fisticuffs, if there's going to be kissing, whatever, champagne. Like,
well,
you don't know. Like,
Mariah May's
all I know is I'm going to be highly entertained.
Mariah May's officiating it. There could be a Mariah May tug of war going on. It's the whole thing. You know me. I want to see that Thekla connection somehow with this storyline. But I think that the Mariah May angle, and maybe this does lead to Mariah breaking off from Toni. And maybe that's the long-term plan for All Out or All In or something, right? I don't know. We'll see.
Also, I don't know if you saw obviously you did because you watched Dynamite, but we do have, after Jon Moxley defeated Evil, Julia's husband, he's going to take on Tetsuya Naito. Speaking of the Destino at Forbidden Door, we finally get Tetsuya Naito at Forbidden Door. It's taken 3 freaking years to finally get him on my damn TV on American soil.
And you get him against Mox, which I am not nearly as vast in a lot of Japanese wrestling as Jamie is, but I have seen their previous match. And if you haven't, as soon as we're done here, Google, look it up in this little search bar on the top of the YouTubes. Find it. Watch it. Do yourself a favor.
And ladies and gentlemen, like, Tetsuya Naito is a top guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd be a top guy anywhere. Like, that's the thing about him. Like, I am forever a Naito stan.
I mean, he's kind of like the Japanese variant of John Mox. Not the same type of character necessarily, but the worker style.
Honestly, I would compare him more to a Seth Rollins type.
Okay, I'm with you.
Because he's got the little bit of flamboyance, even maybe not with the ginormous sunglasses that make 0 sense.
Nobody has that much flamboyance.
Yeah, like he's kind of like flown off the deep end. He's like, I love Elton John, guys. Let me start wearing his clothes. But yeah, so we get that. I'm really excited about that. So after that, House of Black gets called out at Collision. So you got the House of Black going up against the Bang Bang gang themselves, Juice and the Guns with Cardblade, because
All right.
obviously the man
Full
of
Yardbird
36 and a
rules,
half
which I
abs was
love.
not there.
I love when the
Yes.
Yardbird rules are done right. Like New Day, back when they were heels, they did the Yardbird rules fantastic, right? This is a good instance of them doing the Yardbird rules. I dig that. And I'm just happy to see Juice on my TV. God bless that man.
I mean, any chance you get to reference like the Freebirds, like, just do it.
I kept saying Yardbirds, and I should have said Freebirds. Yeah, you're right.
It's fine. I knew what you meant. Like maybe you ate at Yardbirds or something.
I'm on a classic music kick, maybe. I don't know.
So Daniel Garcia in squash match numero 2.
Nick Comoroto looks so weird without his beard.
He looks like a baby.
He looks so weird. Now, pot kettle, I know. And trust me, Jamie's seen me. You don't want to see me without this. It's weird.
It looks like Homer Simpson, guys.
I look like a turtle. It was so weird. I didn't like it. But for
what's that movie with Dana Carvey where Master of Disguise?
Oh God, yes. Yeah, that's what I felt when I looked at myself in the mirror after I was done. I go, what have I done?
Yeah. So after this, it's, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know this, it's time for the main event, which is Mark Henry is no longer or about to be no longer.
I think no longer. It's either or.
Yeah, it's fine. He tried to be an announcer type, and
he did what he needed to do. He came in, he led some good wisdom to the youths during the COVID and post COVID time, and then boop, now on to other things. So whatever.
After this, we had happy joy time for one JJ. And me too.
Juice Robinson has a nickname that I was embodying during this match because, and they even said this is the fifth time that Rey Fenix and Will Ospreay has happened. And if you know anything about me, you know that this is the type of match that I want to see all the time, every day. Let's go.
It definitely did not disappoint. Like, this match had landing on your feet from a Hurricane Rod from the top rope. It had a DDT flip out to landing on your feet.
2 of those, one by each guy.
Like, it had everything you want. But most importantly, at least in Jamie's eyes, you had a finisher stealer, and that makes me so happy when I see guys steal at other guys' finishers. So,
not even stealing the guy in the match, but stealing your opponent who you dropped off the contract for the match at the pay-per-view, who's sitting in the front row, his finisher.
Yeah, it stared at him and goes, this is my house. And then hits the swerve stomp. Then right into the hidden blade. Gets the win. But, oh my God, that whole segment was just beautifully done. Anytime you steal a finisher for your upcoming opponent that's not even in the match, that's God tier level of just pettiness. And I am here for it, and I want it every damn day.
Heather says somewhere Jim Cornette was working himself into a rage of that match. Yes. And fuck him. I don't care. I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean,
it could be for a multitude of reasons. It was a never mind.
And the whole there. Yeah. Here's the thing:
he's
is
a bit of a racist.
There was a point in the match where I was like, Fenix could win this belt technically. I mean, you don't need to have Will Ospreay with both belts at the thing, and it would serve a good story going in. He goes on a little losing streak ahead of, because he even. But I mean. Yeah, Will wins. He does the thing. But there's no losers, especially those of you who are watching it with your eyeballs, because, my God. And
then the whole interaction between Ospreay and Swerve after. How there was no mic, but it was so intense. And just awesome. And the fact, like, I loved
you love the
how
ending.
Swerve got right past him, like right by his ear,
Oh.
talking to him. Like they got really close, like, the old school mafia movies where they're not face to face, but they're side to side, dude. I ate that up with a spoon. I was so into that.
And the line he's like because he takes his belt and puts it on his shoulder. He ends it with his like, "Be lucky, I still consider you a friend." It's like,
yes. Yeah, if I didn't like you, you'd be dead. Yeah, it's 100%. He even said that. He's like,
he said something of that nature.
Like,
yeah,
I put people in graves or something. I'm like, no. Oh my goodness,
which is good because you're giving your face who he's not a bubblegum face. He never can't be. I mean, he's a hip hop artist. You listen to his music. It's not the most PG stuff out there, right? It's not terrible. It's not like some of this hip hop out there where it's like, Jesus Christ, I gotta take a shower now, right? But it's not the most PG shit out there, and you can't present him as John Cena, Kurt Angle, right? Hulk Hogan, like old Hulk Hogan, like pre-racism Hulk Hogan. Well, pre-known about racism Hulk Hogan.
Pre-known, yes, pre-known.
Macho Man, stuff like that, right? You can't go that old school. Yeah. I'm for the kids and shit, right? So I like that they give him a little bit of edge, even though he's still not going to be heel, right? But it puts, at least for this match, a little bit, because face versus face, you always have that problem, right? Where's the conflict? They're both good guys, So you make a little bit edginess to one, and then a little bit of doubt in the other. There's your conflict.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All I know is, as soon as we saw that this was coming, I was already in.
Oh yeah,
I was already in on this match, and now they're adding just a little bit of texture and context. It's like, yeah, I really want this.
Unfortunately, we won't get the Bruno Mars dance off at the beginning of the match.
We will not get that. But what we will get is a 5-star match, guaranteed. Guaranteed. Meltzer's already, I think, predetermined it's going to be a 27-star match. But this match alone is worth its money. Like, that's the thing. Forbidden Door is already going to be bought at my house regardless. But now, how personal they're making this, it feels like this could be one for the ages. He will 100%. Oh, hold on, Heather.
If they know what they're doing, if they know what they're doing,
use the Tiger Driver.
Well, I'm going to say if they know what they're doing, Swerve will use the Tiger Driver.
Oh, well, I wanted her to answer.
Oh, well, that was my answer. Heather, pretend you didn't hear my answer and give us your real answer, because I think you're saying Ospreay. Is that what you're saying, or are you saying Swerve?
Swerve. I like that. He won't.
So for those of you listening,
it.
our mod in our chat, Heather, said that he'll use the Tiger Driver. And so she said that he will have to make a choice to use the Tiger Driver in order to beat Swerve, and he won't, but Swerve will.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. Like, that's exactly where I was going in my head too, Heather. Like, again, get out of my brain.
So AW, we know TK, you listen. If you want help with your creative team, you got 4 people here. Austin's not here presently, but you got 4 people. We can help you with this. We got this. Come on,
let's
give us some jobs.
And you've proven time and time again you watch this show or listen to this show. But yeah, I think I'm right on there. The Tiger Driver 91 will be in play. Mm-hmm. It will 100% be in play. And it will not be by Ospreay, to your point. It's going to be by Swerve, and that's how Swerve
doesn't throw something out there if he doesn't plan on, cashing in on it.
Yeah, it wasn't. He doesn't throw nuggets for nuggets.
Yeah, he is way too smart and tactical to throw a nugget like that and just leave it at that. So,
What is this, WWE?
I know, right?
Whole storylines dropped within like 3 minutes. Hey, Braun Breaker, can you get him because his contract's gonna expire and he says he's gonna leave? No.
Braun smash, boom.
You're
Oversimplify.
not a
I actually
killer
really like what they're
anymore.
doing with Braun.
Yeah.
So that's gonna fuck. You know, we talked about the women's match. It was 2 women's matches. I mean, you also have the TBS title / New Japan title. Stephanie Vacour, who did a nice little video for her, which I appreciate.
Vacker.
What?
Pronounced Vacker.
There's a U right there. Okay, I
Vacker.
even though I gave you crap about the Zexes. But no, Stephanie Vacker. So the title, I'm calling it title unification match because that's what it is. Mox, NATO. They also announced that it's going to be Orange Cassidy, Zack Sabre Jr. It's probably your opener. Yes, please. Okay. Again,
will not be as good as Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr.
It will not, but it's
sorry.
It is your stand. I mean, you got 2 guys who don't have bad matches in a match on a pay-per-view. Cool. That's going to
be 2 way different styles. But one thing that has been proven by Mr. Orange Cassidy, he is a chameleon and he can wrestle with anybody. I mean, that'll be a hell of a match.
And
Zach is
one of the best in the world. So yeah, fantastic looking pay-per-view here. So that's coming up. We got a little over 2 weeks.
Yeah. 2.5 weeks. Remember when people couldn't figure out why they signed Orange Cassidy?
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah. The pop he got. Remember when he first showed up? The pop he got was pretty big from the crowd, and a lot of people were like, "Who's that guy?" And then you see him wrestle, it's like, "Oh, I get it." And they're like, then you're like, "Well, I don't get his shtick though, but I get he's a decent wrestler." Then he gets that title run, and then everybody's like, "Oh, I get it now."
When he was in the original All In overbooked Battle Royal, which is still one of the best names I've ever heard of for a match in my life, right? The overbooked Battle Royal. Like, it was deafening the O's when he was doing his little mid kick, you know, because All In was basically 10,000 tickets sold, nothing but like marks, nothing but internet marks, basically. So everybody knew who he was, but yeah, there was a lot of this guy, who's but.
Oh, good.
All right, so we got 2.5 weeks coming up here. Again, I want to throw it back if you haven't already and you do plan on. Make sure you get your tickets for Fountain City Pro. We'll get some more information and more stuff coming up here in the next coming weeks here. That is July the 12th.
I do get it.
And then, yeah, that's where we're at. Jamie, you got anything else you want to get to this evening?
Just remember Sabu, Sandman, the Dudley Boys.
Those that we've lost from that era, because we've lost quite a few, unfortunate.
New Jack, you know what? Even think about mass transit. Okay?
Wow. I remember all the Dudley Boys, too. There was more than 2. Don't forget
That's what I said. Remember Spike.
The good old Spike.
Spike.
Blue Meanie. I mean.
Dude, they had so many fun. Remember FBI Full-Blooded Italians?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, dude. Like, I could go on and on about
the
ECW.
Original Guido. Oh, not really the original Guido, but the best variant of a Guido character.
Guido, yeah. Like, this such a good shtick.
Balls! God, I forgot about Balls
Mahoney. Shane Mercer. Like, dude.
what's his face? Jesus. He had a terrible thing that they did that was kind of a copycat in AEW or in TNA.
I mean, Al Snow had a good run there.
Al Snow had a great run in there, right? We only barely mentioned, but Funker,
Terry Funk,
Cactus Jack, or
Chris Jericho was in ECW for a hot minute.
Jericho was in there. Taz, of course, that's where FTW came from. Transmission. God, Davey Richards, not Davey Richards.
Davey Boy, yeah.
Davey Boy, yeah. Oh God, there were so many good ones. So, All right, we'll leave you with that. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for joining. We'll be here same bad time, same bad channel next week. If it's your first time visiting, give us a like, give us a subscribe down below. Hit the little bell icon so you know when we go live. We do this every Wednesday, approximately 25 minutes after Dynamite, give or take, finishes up.
Jesus.
Oh my God, we gotta stop. Okay, and so for all those in ECW here, we are going to turn the lights off. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Jamie, take us home, man.
Before I take us home, one thing on Chris Kanyon. If it wasn't for Chris Kanyon, half the innovation of all the current moves in all of wrestling would not be there today. Chris Kanyon deserves his fucking flowers.
You're not wrong.
And if you're not down with that, I got one word for you. Conglomeration.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Peace.